Hi, fellow traders. I hope you guys had a great day. But the message I got for you today is you can't sleep through your success. You can't do it. That's exactly what I did today. You can't sleep through it. Uh, I don't know what the hell was going on, but I just wasn't here. I wasn't engaged. I wasn't attached to my body today. And it really showed in my trading. And I missed the big trade that I was waiting on, that I had a vision of, and I was just waiting for the setup to happen, and I completely missed the freaking trade. Um, and you just can't do it. I shared this term with you either a week or two ago, called mindful patience, where we have to be patient, but we have to be mindful of what's going on around us, so we could be ready to take advantage of what happens. And I just was not there today. So 3 things we could do to help keep us out of this. And I know I'm not the only one that's actually had this issue before, where we weren't engaged, we weren't paying attention, or we were looking at other things when we should be focused on what we're doing. Number 1, we got to show up. We have to show up in the market. If you don't show up, there's no way you're going to make it. So one big step to being profitable that day is actually showing up. If you're sporadic and you're here and in and out, it's going to be very difficult. So we got to show up. Number 2, we got to go to work. When we get here, we've got to go to work. We can't sit back and expect things to happen for us if we don't put in the work. Every morning I come in, I look through, I build my watch list, I analyze the stocks. If I just sat back and waited for somebody to give me stocks to trade, I probably won't be successful. I'm not putting in the work. I'm not engaging myself. I'm not setting myself up for the morning. And number 3, we've got to have mindful patience. Okay, we've got to keep the vision of what we're here for and keep engaged. We be patient, wait for our setup to happen, but we've got to have that vision in our mind of what we're doing and why we're here, so we can always stay engaged. So you guys don't end up like me today, where the summer, it is slower. It's not dead. It's not so much that you can't make money and you can't trade. The opportunities are fewer and farther between in the summer. It's obvious. You could see it in the market. The volatility and the volume dries down after 11 o'clock. You can see it. There's no doubt about that. But the opportunities to make money are there. We just have to seize it. And if we don't show up and we don't do the work, we're going to miss out. And while we're waiting, if we're not, waiting with mindful patience, then we're going to end up missing out. So just remember those things as we go forward. All right, so Thursday, I'm having a live stream day trading webinar right here Thursday, 8:30. We'll start by building my watch list. We'll talk about the strategies that I use. Really simple. Probably the most simple strategy you're ever going to run into. Really, the only thing that can stop you from making money is you, because you have to execute the strategy. The setups are there. It was right there today. I didn't execute. So when you don't execute, things don't happen for you. But we're going to talk about all of that, and you get to spend the morning and see just what it's like every day in our community. It's all about focusing on execution. And whether you get something out of it is not up to me. It's up to you. So when you come in, make sure you ask questions and really be engaged. There's a lot of people that they spend a lot of money joining these communities, and they don't do anything. They just sit back and watch and think something's going to miraculously happen to them. It doesn't work that way. You got to be actively engaged, no matter where you are, no matter who you're with. If you're not actively engaged, you're not putting in the work. You're not showing up every day ready to work. And that is very critical in you being successful and making money in the market. All right, so let's take a look at what we did today. If you want to be alerted, all you need to do is subscribe to my channel. And as soon as I go live, it'll let you know. Or be right back here on my YouTube channel at 8:30 on Thursday. And join in. All right, so let's take a look at my trade from today. ABBV. All right, I had a lot of people bombard me and questioning my intelligence as to why I didn't take this trade. Number one, it wasn't on my watch list because this was a stock engaged in a buyout. These stocks typically don't trade this way. They usually gap up to whatever the buyout price is, one way or the other, and it just trades flat all day. There's usually not any opportunity. Now, every now and then, it will. We all know there's no absolutes in trading. So, you have more of these that don't do this and that do just trade sideways all day than you do. Maybe 2 or 3 out of 10, you will see this happen. I'm not looking to trade the 20 and 30% setups. I'm looking to trade the 70%. So if this only works 30% of the time, I'm not interested in it. So I didn't put it on my watch. But I did say if it did set up, I would look to take it for a continuation trade. That was my thought, that if it did set up and it did show some volatility, I look at it for a continuation. So the reason why I didn't take it for a 5-minute opening range is because it was not on my watch. If it was on your watch, then you should have traded it. You shouldn't have listened to me and what I'm thinking if you already put it on your watch against my initial judgment. If I didn't put it on my watch and I told you why, but you turned around and put it on there, and then you didn't take it because I said I didn't like the setup or the parameters, that's on you. That's not on me. So if you have something on watch, don't even listen to what I say. Because if you've gone through your process, you're at that level to where you're able to pick your own stocks. Now, the only thing you need to do is focus on execution, not listening to me after that point. Now, if you're trying to build your watch list, that's when you listen to me and what I'm saying and what I'm thinking, and then you can assess it against what you think. But once you've already made that list and you've already committed to what you're going to do, the hell with what I say. You throw it, flush it down the toilet just like anything else. You focus on what you do. Now, at the end, it doesn't work out and you have questions. That's when we can get together and work it out. And I could tell you what I thought and all of that good stuff. But in this case, here's what I was looking at. After it made this first move down, now I use Thinkorswim charts. This is what I use to make my trade decisions on. I stream my SureTrader platform, which uses the DOS platform. I don't like the DOS charts. I like Thinkorswim because I can put everything on it and it's neat, and I don't have to reset it every day. The lines will stay on, and it's it's what I learned on, what I started with, so I'm comfortable with it. No need to change. But I'm looking at this and I'm seeing the RSI is well below 20. This is the relative strength index is what tells us whether it's oversold or not. Now, you don't make trading decisions off of one indicator. There has to be a number of factors. So the reason why I didn't trade this stock was not just because the RSI was low. That was one factor. That was the last straw that told me, no, I'm going to wait and see if we can get a secondary move. Number one, we had this huge candle, huge sell-off candle, and we were probably going to end up on SSR at some point in the near future. And we were well into oversold territory, so I didn't think there was going to be that big of a move initially. I felt we would have to take a bounce. Now, this did give you a good initial move to take profit and everything, and it didn't even bounce back enough for me to get in. I was looking for it to pull back more so I could base my risk off of the opening range low here in VWAP and the 9, but it didn't pull back far enough where I could gauge my risk, so I didn't trade it. I had to wait for it to come back to me. But I decided not to trade it here because I didn't like several things going on with it. Now, like I said, if you wanted to trade it, great, trade it. And you would have made some money on this trade. This is one of those, 2 or 3 times that these stocks actually work and give you a good move. So I'm not saying there's no right or wrong in it. If it's your strategy and you took it, then you're right. If it's your strategy and you didn't take it, then you're wrong. You just missed out. So here's me in my infinite wisdom. I'm thinking that we're bouncing here. Instead of me, and this is what I mean by I wasn't here today. Instead of me looking at what the chart is giving me and waiting for it to tell me that this is what it's going to do, I envisioned in my mind that this is going to do what all these other stocks have done, bounce and keep running. So I'm going to buy it. In my infinite wisdom, I bought it. Not even set up yet, but I bought it. And I didn't actually stop out here. I was trying to put in my stop, and I must have typed in the price wrong, and it failed immediately. And so I turned around and got back in. And, that's where all of this came from. And then eventually, stopped out. So that was that. Then, let's see, that was at 12:01. And then I decided, right here. And then I decided I'm going to flip it short. Okay, it's not going anywhere. I'm going to flip it short. Because I think this is going to start to get weak and we're going to sell off in lunch. And, I was a little upset because I missed the big trade. The one that I've been waiting on. And, I'll show you that one in a second. But I was just not clean with my executions. I really shouldn't have traded this stock once the volume flatlined. I shouldn't have traded it because I knew that it wasn't going to give me anything. And it didn't. It really didn't give me much. I was able to work my way back out of, the hole that I had dug for myself earlier, a little bit. Probably took half the loss off. But it just wasn't nothing. It's a trade that I shouldn't have taken. There was really no indication that we were going to have any trend continuation of any significance. But I played with it, got a couple, pieces off here and there, but it just never gave me anything. Ended up getting stopped out on at break even on the people taking profit at 330, the ones that have to get there, be within 2 to 1, and I got taken out on that pop, and it did pull in and come down to 65, which is where I wanted it, but unfortunately I got taken out on that pop, and that was that. So all of this, and I didn't get anywhere. I was not here today. I was not here. I did not show up. All right, so LEN, this was the other one. I didn't put this on my watch because it was just it was crowded. And I knew that I would have to wait for a secondary move until it decided on which way it was going to go, and it worked its way through the support or the resistance wherever it was going to go. Here we had daily level here, the daily 50, we had the 200, we had red to green. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to get it at red to green, and this will be my first target, and we're going to work it down and get through some of these levels. So that's what I was waiting on. We had a conference call at 11, and I'm sitting here, I just went brain dead and forgot all about this and missed the damn move. I mean, look at this. With 500 shares, I would have made a ton of money on this trade today. And this is my setup. This is the trend continuation. This is it for me. Even if I had taken it here, this was it. This was the one. Even if I had taken it back here before the conference call and, look for it to sell through. This is my trend continuation. This is it. But not being engaged, I missed it. So the opportunities are here. They're in the market. We just have to be engaged. And we will find them. And we will be able to trade them and make money. Now, I haven't traded the smaller account, the micro account, because there's absolutely nothing in the price range that I can trade that's even showing the possibility of giving us moves. There are some, but they don't have shares to short and they're on margin restriction, and I don't trade those. I stay away from them. So it may be next week before I even start focusing on trading out of that account. We just have to wait and see. We'll look tomorrow and we'll see if we have anything on watch. I'll look every day. But if there aren't any stocks on watch that I can actually trade, then I'm just gonna wait until we can. I'm not making the mistake I made last year and dig holes and try to fight my way out of it. Now we're only down like over 2 weeks, $160, because the opportunities just aren't there. Now I could have taken smaller moves and I could be green right now by about $150. But those aren't the moves I'm looking for, and I'm not trying to establish that. So I'm going to take my time. I'm not going to force it. I'm going to let the market come to me, and that's what I want you guys to understand. Yeah, if you want to trade, paper trade. Trade in the simulator. Whatever you need to do, you can practice, get that screen time. But don't risk your money in situations where the odds are you're going to lose. That's what I want you guys to just stay away from. All right, so FDX was the earnings trade we were looking at today. I was looking for it to get down, but it started selling off at the close, which is not a gap down setup for me. If it did this at the close, I'd have been more comfortable. So I waited, and it popped up. And I waited for it to come back before I got in it, because I was looking for it to kind of do this. And so once it pulled back, I got in, and then I realized it doesn't report until 5:30. Everything I had said 4 o'clock. And because of that, I could have just taken it off and just walked away from it. But I left these 50 shares on to see what it was going to do. When it reported earnings, I had the earnings conference call. It did pop up. I think it's sitting around 157 now. But we'll see. I really think this is going to sell off. And that was based on my assessment. Like I said, I could be wrong, because that's just my assessment of the numbers. Everybody else might have looked at it, and they may have another assessment and think it's going to be a long, and they're buying it. And if I'm the only lonely fool over here shorting it, it's going to be a cold winter for me. Or an extremely hot summer in this case. So I'm just waiting. We'll wait till tomorrow. It's kind of minimal risk with this ticker, so I didn't feel bad about leaving 50 shares on to run overnight. But this isn't the normal strategy. It's just that, again, somehow there was a disconnect with what I was doing. I didn't verify the reporting time, and I got myself in a mess. So that's the day that I had. We're closing the door on it. I'm folding it up, putting it in an envelope, and mailing it to somebody who gives a shit. And I'm coming back tomorrow, and we're going to get back on this horse and ride. So you guys have a great night, a great evening. If you're not a member, don't forget on Thursday, come on in and check us out. And before I forget, all you members who did referrals, check your PayPal account on Friday morning. They should be posted in your account on Friday morning, as well as you guys who are part of the well, I'm not going to talk about that. But your guy, you know who I'm talking to. Your dividend checks or your dividends will be posted in your PayPal account too. So look out for that. I keep forgetting to say it. So, but I'll send the email out too. So you guys have a great night, a great evening, and I will catch you guys tomorrow.